How to fight ADHD sabotage. Don't let ADHD ruin your life. This article is written by Michael Woodruff. That's me. And published on Medium. And that picture right there is one of my sidetracked modes. I decided it wanted to learn how to use Paint Z. And I am a terrible artist, but that's okay. The Saboteur. The most successful saboteurs work from the inside. You've probably seen enough movies to know that much. It's why the enemy works hard to infiltrate the infrastructure. What could be more inside than my brain? People with ADHD are in a constant battle with their brains. It zigs and zags when it should go straight. It circles around and around like a teacup ride and eventually gets to where we need it to be. It's just a process that sometimes takes a little longer. My brain told me I already had an article for today, except I didn't. How did it get so confused? It could be that I had written 3 articles, one of which I planned on scheduling for later, which would be today, only I sent it to a publication instead. It could be that I thought I have an article I had written all out, except it was only in my mind, but my brain thought it was physical. That happens sometimes. I imagined something in such detail I actually thought I already did it. The influencers. If you're thinking the saboteurs are working alone, think again. An enemy doesn't infiltrate an infrastructure without having backup on the outside. In this case, the infiltrator is my mind. Ugh, an inside job. It was my mind that turned on me. Traitor. It was bad enough when it was just a disgruntled worker, but it started listening to the propaganda from outsiders. Then it became emboldened. Who are the outsiders? They're the ones spewing false perspectives. Lazy, worthless, space cadet, stupid, procrastinator. The list goes on and on. It becomes a battle between what is true and what is perceived to be true. For example, I went through most of my schooling with all A's. Despite that, I was still called stupid. If I didn't get 100% on everything, I wasn't good enough. This fed, among other things, my already low self-esteem. At one point, I wondered if there was any point at all. Then I would not do what I knew I should do and would be rewarded by more scolding. A lovely vicious circle that kept me depressed and angry at myself. I have been shamed repeatedly into knowing, not just believing, that my existence was entirely wrong. A waste. The influencers came from classmates, parents, relatives, strangers, and pretty much everyone. At least it felt that way. There were a few positive inputs here and there, but by then my brain had already latched on to the negative influencers. Prove them wrong. I hated being less than. I had to prove that I was worthy of existing. I wasn't worried about proving that I was worthy to be loved. I could never expect that. But I was worthy of existing. I fought and fought to go above and beyond everyone else. I had to be better, smarter, more athletic. Well, that never worked out. Everyone was smarter than me. Everyone was more organized. Everyone was more athletic. My brain points out every flaw I make and adds it to a long list. The influencers of my childhood still haunt me today. My brain has turned their voices into my own. So every day becomes a struggle to prove them wrong. Fighting back. ADHD and depression are compound materials. Like mixing bleach and ammonia, it results in a toxic gas that can cause serious harm. It's something I'll always struggle with, but the fact that I'm struggling shows that I haven't given up. I realized yesterday that I didn't have an article for today. That would be today and tomorrow, respectively, as I write this. I had woken up in an off mood. A few lyrics from a song and my brain went into self-depreciation mode. I was not in a good place for most of the day. My head was spinning and I still had an article to write. Finally, I went through some videos from How to ADHD. And after 3 or 4, I came up with this article. I know I'm not perfect. I know I'm not that great. I still think I'm a failure most days. I'm still fighting back. I'm fighting against the shame that others shoveled on me. I'm fighting against the shame I've shoveled on myself. I'm fighting against the idea that I'll never be good enough. How am I fighting? With persistence and constant reminders that I don't have to be perfect. It's okay to make mistakes. I don't have to be the best at, well, anything in order to be worthy of existing. I'm learning about myself on a constant basis, usually because I forget what I thought I already learned. The more times I relearn something, the more solidified it becomes in my mind. My ADHD brain may be teaming up with other issues I have, but I'm not about to let it destroy the infrastructure of my life. I'm cutting it off from the negative influencers on the outside, no matter where they come from. I'm retaking control of my brain. It may take the rest of my life, but I'm not giving up the controls. I'm fighting back.